Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a little quick review. It's not going to be a real long review. I'm doing a review on this product because every review I could find on the product was either strictly comparing the product to itself, which is weird, but they were just talking about it. They didn't really compare it to another one, or they compared it to one that was nowhere near the same. And I'll explain that a little more here in just a minute. What we're going to be reviewing today is the 77 quart lifetime cooler. I love mine, but is it the best cooler for the job? Well, I'm going to compare it to two other coolers that pretty much cover one end of the spectrum to the next. Now, we are in the shop. It may be a little dark in here, but it's like low 30s outside and windy and wet. So we're not going to be doing this outside because I want to be able to give y'all the best review I can. So I'm going to give you a look at all three coolers we're going to be comparing. We're going to be focusing on the pros and cons of the lifetime cooler compared to the other two. Now, one of them you can't really compare it to at all. And one of them is a direct competitor. On the high end of its direct competitors. You know, your other ones would be, so it'd be like Lifetime, or money-wise. Well, I guess Lifetime might be the cheapest. Then Ozark Trails version. The Magellan's version, Academy brand. Then Yeti, I think is how it would go, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I don't want to give y'all any false information. So, alright guys, so here's the coolers we will be comparing. This is an Ozark Trail $16 cooler. That's really all you need to know about that. We put fish and deer meat and stuff like that in these because it's only something that needs ice for a day or whatever. This is my lifetime cooler that I really, really like. And this is the Yeti cooler, which I also really, really like. I see no need to compare this one to this one, because this one is in a whole nother ballpark. The reason these coolers don't work as well as these mostly because the lid on these are not insulated. How these are insulated. And those are. So, when we get down to talking about this cooler and this cooler, they're very similar coolers. Things I really like about the Lifetime that I don't like over the Yeti are the latches. These are Yeti's latches. I mean, they're simple. They work. Very easy to break. These are Lifetime's latches. You lift it, plop it down, lift it, plop it down. Still, both are made out of rubber. I just like these a little better. I think they work a little better. I think they're a little easier for younger people. Or older people, depending on how you're looking at strength. And this one comes not only with the locking spot in the center, but this is actually a bottle opener, and it's metal. So that you run the lock through here, you have some metal support, unlike just having 2 inches of thick plastic, you know. Things that I don't necessarily like about the Lifetime cooler is that drain. I don't like how it sticks out. You might be thinking, oh, it's just a drain. If you were to slip and drop this on something, you could bust this drain off. Where on the Yeti, you're going to have a hard time breaking that off. Even though this drain is a little easier to operate. Now, this is a 50 quart Yeti. This is a 77 quart Lifetime. So 50 quart, 77. $300, $170. So price-wise, this one is way cheaper than this one, and this one's also 27 quarts bigger. It's a 77 compared to a 50. So price-wise, that one's better, but if you're trying to keep ice for a long period of time, which one's better? We'll get to that in a minute. So the next thing I want to compare are the handles. Well, In all honesty, if we're getting down to handles being the nitty gritty, the handles are the same. They're rope with a rubbery kind of plasticky grip. Freaking simple, man. So, since we are here to talk mostly about the Lifetime, Lifetime's got this big seal around it that seals down on this ring. And normally when you open this cooler, hey guys, I put a bag of ice in here like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Like, no joke, 3 or 4 weeks ago, I put a bag of ice in here, and there's still just a hair bit of ice in this thing. But it hasn't been opened, and it's wintertime in the South. So you got to think days weren't getting above 50. There's just a little bit of ice in there. That's kind of impressive. And like I said, I haven't opened this, except for to get the meat I was packing on top of the ice, because it was just ice in that bag, and the meat I had stacked on top of it in a sealed container. I carried it out and dropped the lid on this and sealed it back up, and it hasn't all completely defrosted, unless that came off the lid or something. So it's got this really good seal. It is also a Lifetime cooler, so it's got a lifetime warranty, made in America. It's certified bear resistant, which I guess so are the Yetis. But this is just a really big, really good cooler for, the $170 compared to the $300 Yeti. Which now, the Yeti has the same seal around it, same raised edge. This one still has stuff in it from the camping trip. And it is certified bear resistant, because apparently that matters. So I guess now we got to get down to the nitty gritty of things. Ice keeping. Now, you could put these coolers head to head in any battle, throw ice in them, leave them outside, don't ever open them, and they're going to stay so close to one another, you won't be able to tell the difference. Because where each cooler is going to have its downfall is opening and closing it. So I'm not going to lie to you. I went camping for a week. There's actually a video of me camping in my channel for a week. I took both these coolers. I put my meat in the Yeti because it was smaller. Like my stuff food that needed to stay cold went in the Yeti because the Yeti was smaller. I put my drinks in the big one. So as you can imagine, I'm not opening the Yeti nearly as much as I am the big cooler. The big cooler runs out of ice, or has less ice in it at the end of the week than the Yeti, because I opened the big cooler more. So I'm not going to hold that against it. For a week, in the middle of summer, in Mississippi, that Lifetime cooler being open every day, multiple times a day. Like, I mean, if it had some adult beverages in it, how often do you open it in that? Like, let me look. And it's hot outside, so you bottles of water and stuff like that too. And in a week, it still had ice in it. The Yeti, of course, still had ice in it because it got open twice a day, 3 times a day, the most, because it's where my food was. My food that needed to stay cold. So that's not a fair head-to-head battle. But again, I live in the South, so it's had its head-to-head battle. Dove season 2020, out here on this back deck, both these coolers sat full of water and Cokes and adult beverages, both being open multiple times a day, all day long, having hot drinks dumped in them as they would run low and stuff like that. The comparison was so close on how much ice was left in both of them by the end of the weekend, so by that Monday. And we'd even added ice, just because, as you add them hot drinks, drain out the water, add more ice, keep the party going. They were so similar, they were almost identical at that point. So, Here's how I'm gonna put it. If you're gonna spend the money and you just want to flex, on them dudes, buy your Yeti. We didn't buy this one, it was a gift. If you're just trying to be sensible with a good cooler that's gonna hold ice for a long time, that's made really well, go with the Lifetime. It's bigger, costs less, and works just as well. The only thing I wish is that the Lifetime's drain was like the Yeti's, because I think that's the one spot I'm going to break this. If I go slide it out of the truck and it drops and hits that spot or something, because full, these things are freaking heavy. Even the Yeti. I mean, you're not getting away from it because of the way they're made. The piece of shit cooler, the little red and white one, we keep them around. They're good coolers for a day trip. You know, you need ice for a day, or throw a nasty bunch of fish in, or throw a bunch of deer meat in. You know, it's cold during the winter when you're cutting up deer anyways. You throw some ice in there and they're fine. Don't do that to your expensive cooler. Don't throw fish in your expensive cooler. I've thrown deer meat in mine because deer meat washes out real well. Fish will be there forever, really. So, I think that's going to do it. I think that's about going to cover everything I'm going to talk about on these two coolers. They're both great coolers. I will never say a bad thing against Yeti. And I won't ever say a bad thing against Lifetime. They both make fantastic coolers. I think the latches on the Lifetime are better than the ones on the Yeti. And actually, I've noticed, looking at Yeti stuff, they're starting to switch their latches to the ones like the Lifetime. And the Lifetime's had them since the beginning. So I think Yeti's realized that their latches need to be upgraded, which is cool. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I see where you're getting it from, but it's fine. Has a built-in bottle opener and all that. Like I said, the one downside to it is the drain. So I got an awesome price. You know, at like $170 for a 77 quart compared to like $300 for a 50 quart or whatever the heck a Yeti cost. Like I said, didn't buy that one. Now, y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want to see me compare these two coolers to the other two, which would be the Outdoor brand from Walmart and the Magellan brand from Academy. If I get enough likes and stuff and enough followers, I will definitely come back and review them. I'm thinking I'm gonna start doing more and more reviews because they seem to do the best for whatever reason. But there are plenty of things I need to review and want to review when it comes to hunting and fishing and stuff like that. So I'm definitely gonna attempt. I should have stood over here the whole time where the light's on, but I couldn't get all the coolers right here. I'm going to attempt to do reviews on all camping and hunting gear and fishing gear and stuff like that, especially as it starts to warm up. Wintertime, it's a little hard between school and it rains constantly. The cold don't bother me, the rain's what bothers me. But it rains constantly, so kind of sucks. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you want to see me review the other two coolers with this. Y'all stay frosty, and I'll see you next time.